Good evening, good Shabbat, and welcome to our service. I'm pleased to share with you that we are back in our sanctuary. The pews are empty, we don't have a choice in that matter, but I hope the service will be more meaningful and more like what you're used to, that we are recording the service in the sanctuary itself. As we proceed along this route, every week I hope things will be better as we get more used to doing this, and I thank you for joining us. We begin with the singing of Shabbat Shalom. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love, we offer thanks and blessing, O God. We continue with the singing Hinema Tohu Anai.
Baruch
ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ha'ariv aravim, v'chokma potech she'arim, u'vitbona mishene itim, u'machalif et hasmanim, u'mesader et ha'kokavim, v'mishmarotehem barakia kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, golel o mitne choshech, v'choshech mitne or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'ma'avir ben yom u'vein layla Adonai tzevaot shmo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai ha'ma'ariv haravim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping us alive in dark ages, your vision of a world redeemed. So let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Let us continue now with the singing of Yismatru.
Shabbat
seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. We continue with the singing of Ritzeh. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Let us continue now with a few moments of silent, private prayer. Yishaberach Avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham Yitzhak ve'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. Hu Yivarech et Achorim, may the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Let me mention in particular Arlene Steer, Nancy Freund, Ruth Pogorski, Andrew Lerman, Eileen Egan, Joshua Haran, Mark Brown, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, B. Einstein, Katie Pastor, Trudy Caruso, Zachary Pastor, Douglas Baker. And we pause also to mention, if only silently, other names as well, or say them out loud while you are at home. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us all say Amen as we sing this Misha Perach together. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and unite the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. Permit me a few comments. On Thursday morning, I had a time conflict. I had scheduled a Tisha B'Av, a 9th of Av commemoration, that we were going to record and make available at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I also found out that 11 o'clock in the morning was the beginning of the televised broadcast of John Lewis's funeral. Given modern technology, I could have my commemoration, my little class, and then I could see everything from Atlanta. Yes, an hour later, but still able to see it. Let me talk about the 9th of Av first. It is the anniversary of the destruction of the first and second temples. And put in context of the Jewish calendar year, all the Sabbaths leading up to the 9th of Av, and this is the first Sabbath after, every Sabbath leading up to it has a Haftorah reading, a reading from the prophets, that basically castigates the people for their evil ways. They are threatened with punishment. But when that punishment comes, after the 9th of Av, beginning with this Shabbat, we hear words of comfort and consolation. I am not going to get in right now to the theology of if you misbehave, you suffer, and if you behave, you prosper, because we have too many examples in life to show that this is not the case. However, too many of our ancestors believed this, and as I said in our class on Thursday morning, a lot of you do too. When everything goes wrong, we say sometimes, what did I do to deserve all of this? But I'm trying to raise consciousness regarding the different meaning and structure and emphasis of our scriptural readings in the summer, a time when often synagogues are closed. But we won't allow that to be happening here, even though we're open just virtually. I wanted to see the televised version of John Lewis's funeral. I was very interested in how it would be handled, and I never got to see the whole thing. I'll have to see more of it later. I think it went on for over 4 hours. The amount of speakers, if you want my opinion, and it's only my opinion, there were too many. But I guess too many people had to be part of the program. I'm interested in how different religious groups and different cultural groups deal with their funerals, also with their weddings, with their regular services. And there are distinct differences between what was done and what we do. Now the liturgy, the actual prayers from what we saw, was not all that much. Most of what we saw were basically eulogies. And in a sense, my experience is quite different. If we have too many people giving too many eulogies, they repeat themselves, it doesn't work. But for a national figure, it's an entirely different story. I want to share a couple of personal things that really hit home to me. John Lewis's career, his political career, was all within my lifetime. The changes that all of us have seen in society are overwhelming. And then I want to talk for a second about degrees of separation. I never met John Lewis. But if you look at the front row of the marchers in so many of the civil rights marches, you will see Martin Luther King Jr. and Ralph Abernathy, and then a little bit to the right, a man with a big white beard, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. And then if you go a little bit more to the right, and sometimes he's cut out of the picture, Rabbi Everett Gendler. Now, he doesn't look the same today. He's much older and more bent over, but the degrees of separation are as follows. Not this year, but in the past, Rabbi Gendler would spend several months during the winter in Sarasota. And he would appropriately, I think appropriately, go to different congregations on different Shabbats just to show support, and he was also a financial contributor. It was, as far as I'm concerned, very special that he attended services in this congregation. And I say very special not just for support of everything that he did, because there was so much that he did that we could sit back and argue about what I have to say, but the fact that this was part of history. I wanted to see that funeral as a student of history. Now, there was an upbeat aspect, that everything is a work in progress and we are trying to make life better. The Jews of this country have been committed to the idea if anyone is discriminated against, we're all discriminated against. And that is why so many Jews supported the civil rights movement. I want to say, as a student of history, I found so much of what happened on Thursday morning on television very profound. So as you are going to see a recording of this service, so I saw a recording of a funeral, and I didn't even see it in real time. We had to record it at home, and I was at best an hour behind, and will be even more later on. I want to share with you the opportunities we have. We suffer. We can't go wherever we want. We can't go to the beaches. We can't go to all the restaurants we like. I'll leave out going to the bars. But we have technology that brings things to us. In one of our earlier e-blasts, I listed all kinds of educational programs that have been developed by the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York and the Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati, bringing continuing education to members of our congregation over this difficult time, and it's all free, by the way. So let us look at the bright side of what we can do. Let us be optimistic that someday those pews in front of me will be crowded with people. For those of you who miss the crowded sanctuary, miss the socializing, miss the getting together as a community, I feel the same way. But I'm completely confident that this will not last forever. We can play our part. I don't have to tell you, but I'll review anyway. Wear a mask, social distancing, wash your hands, be safe, be well. We are now going to continue our service as we turn to page 283, and we call Spencer Sniderman to open the ark for the adoration. Please rise. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. Please be seated, and I call on Stuart Sinai, our president, for some comments.
Thank you, Rabbi. And thank you all for being with us. Rabbi, I want to thank you for your important words tonight. We are enriched every week by your commentary, and especially tonight. Kai and Ann, you two are just spoiling us.
Oh, good.
Each week your music and song are even more beautiful and captivating. Thank you. Spencer, thank you for doing such a good job of opening and closing the ark. I know you're happy to be here. Well, this is our second time convening our Shabbat service from the temple since the beginning of the pandemic. One of my favorite members sent me an email last week that she thought the scene was a little cold, a little surreal, and she, of course, is right. This is surreal. We have not encountered this situation before. This is strange. We wish you were all here with us. We wish we could shake hands, or even a sincere and warm elbow bump. But with your help, we continue not only to persevere, but to thrive. Most importantly, we've been able to continue operations, maintain our staff, maintain our building, maintain our grounds, and maintain our security 24/7. And the rabbi and his family, rather than go on a well-deserved vacation, stayed with us of his own accord. We didn't ask it, and we didn't expect it. He chose not to leave the field. He, Corinne, and Spencer, the latter our technology guru, of course, stayed on duty as well, working on the details of broadcasting Shabbat services from their home beginning in March through just last week. And the rabbi was here for members that needed him during the crisis, and there was need. All three, the rabbi, Corinne, and technical staff, Spencer, deserve our talents, deserve our thanks for their talents. So please mention it to them once you're able to do so. As you've seen in our Thursday e-blast, high holiday service plans are near complete, and the schedule of the days and times are in that e-blast, along with many other events and things we hope you find of interest. We again want to thank all our members that have paid their dues this year so promptly, and for the many contributions we've received beyond dues. You are why we are here today. I wish everyone a good, peaceful Shabbat. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Let us continue now with the singing of the Kiddush.
Oh,
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Eternal One bless you by protecting you. May the light of the Eternal One shine upon you and be gracious to you. May you feel the presence of the Eternal One, and may you find peace. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.